Welcome to Fitness Friday. This is where we train for performance in real life, not just workouts. This is about how you manage your energy, your reactions, and the moments outside of work that directly impact how you think, decide, and lead. Because your performance at work is shaped long before you log in. Each episode is designed to help you stay clear, controlled, and effective, no matter what's happening around you. Let's begin. Hi, everybody. It's Lisa and Rasha and Joshua today. And we are doing our Fitness Friday. And today our focus is on mindful dog training under pressure. So you might think of how do those two things come together where we're talking about mindfulness and dog training. But today we're going to tell you all about that. You're making all these decisions throughout the day. And if you're like me, I'm working from home, so I have my pets around me most of the day. Now your dog starts barking. Maybe you're on a call with somebody and it's a really important client call or team meeting. The dog's barking, the FedEx guy, Amazon guy, they start jumping and they're ignoring you and you start reacting. So your stress is starting to build up. Here's what you might miss though. Your dog isn't the problem. How you're responding to your dog's behavior is shaping their reaction. So today with Joshua, we're going to break down how to stay calm, clear, and in control while your dog isn't behaving the way you want it to. This isn't about just dog training, it's learning how you can respond under pressure. Again, I'm joined today by Joshua Quinn of Mindful Training, and as always, Rasha Proctor, who is our Chief Mindfulness Officer. Joshua is a positive reinforcement dog trainer who's been training dogs since 2014. After working as an independent trainer, he founded Mindful Training in August of 2017. Mindful Training is a dog training company local to Austin, Texas, whose primary focus is aimed at teaching pet parents how to be their own dog trainers with a mindfulness modality. The mindfulness aspect of Joshua's philosophy is present in the playfulness and compassion that staff bring to all of the dogs they work with. They also offer mindfulness services not only just for the dogs, but for pet parents, such as guided meditation and breath work. And I know, Rasha, you are a fan of Joshua and his training. Joshua, before we get tactical, I want to start with something real that most people deal with. I've got a golden retriever who I like to call, she's like a Tigger. She's bouncing off the walls all day long. So my dog Bella, my golden retriever, loves to jump on guests when they arrive. I get super stressed out because I also have a 2-year-old grandson and I'm nervous about her knocking him over and hurting him. So, how do I stop her or other dogs from doing that?
That's an awesome question. And the question just about every dog owner faces at some point in the history with their kiddo. So there's a few easy approaches. First of all, what to do when uh, your dog is jumping on guests, other able-bodied adults. And then separately, we'll talk about what to do to ensure your dog doesn't jump on your grandkids or grandparents or anyone with mobility issues who need to have a very hard stop and make sure that the dog there's no jumping. But for the able-bodied adults, first step is to ensure that your guests who come over do not use their hands in any way, shape, or form to shove your golden retriever Bella off of them. Anytime shoving takes place, Bella's thinking, "Ooh, we're playing. I love this. I'm gonna jump some more." So first
By the
thing
way,
we're going
that
to do.
happens. That does
hmm
happen. She
So
thinks,
the
"Oh
first,
gosh, this is playtime."
hmm so the first thing we do is give a verbal cue, such as "yoo-hoo" or "oops." Any kind of cue that we want to consistently to let our dogs know that they're doing something we don't like. I don't like to use the word no for this item because most people, when they start saying no, and if they start repeating it, they'll say no, no, continue to escalate it. And then the dog's just like, ooh, we're getting more excited. Yay. So for them, best case scenario is for us to maintain an even tone that is or oops, oop, as the jumping takes place. And physically, our first action is to pivot. So pivot to your right, pivot to your left, have Bella just crash off of you. If she happens to offer a sit, direct eye contact, or look, or any other desirable behavior, in that second, give credit. Good sit, Bella. Love, love, love with affection, a treat, whatever you have on hand. If that step is insufficient because you and your family just came back from the movies, y'all have been gone for 1.5 hours too long. Bella is so excited to see you and the whole family again. The pivoting and the verbal cues don't cut it. If that's the case, step two, is to walk into Bella's space. It will feel weird and uncomfortable for us, the pet parents, at first. But the reason why we need to walk into Bella's space if our pivoting doesn't work is because we need to reestablish our space that Bella is rudely encroaching upon by placing her paws on us, by jumping on us. So just to give the last option, let's say you try walking away from Bella as she jumps on you. If you're to walk away from Bella, you're giving her more distance to keep practicing jumping on you. So if
Mm,
right isn't right and left doesn't cut it, backwards is not an option. The last option is to walk forward into Bella's space. Once she's again seated, looking to you, lying down, doing anything that's better than jumping, give her credit. This way she knows, "Oh, I shouldn't jump on my folks, but I can sit, I can look, and they like that instead." So that's the single best approach that you can share with all families and guests who are able-bodied adults to ensure that they don't accidentally start petting or shoving or reinforcing the jumping behavior. But let's move on to kids, grandkids, grandparents, anyone with mobility issues. Maybe someone broke their ankle and they physically can't do these steps. If that's the case, we would then have the handler or the pet parents yourself to have Bella wearing a body harness, but a collar and leash is okay for indoor work, but harness and leash is most desirable. So for
mhm,
this, we'll have the leash attached to your harness, dragging on the floor with your foot pressed firmly on that leash, given just a little bit of uh, laxness to where if she tries to jump, she's going to get that quick leash feedback and come back to earth within a second and a half. So with this, let's say we're inviting grandkids over, kids, elderly, etc., and Bella does what we expect her to do. She wants to jump on them. Your foot resting on that leash is going to do all the work for you.
mm,
They don't have to do any shaking. You don't have to do any shaking. You don't have to do any work to build that desirable behavior of having Bella hold that sit position or to look to you. And then as the kids walk through the door, as the grandparents walk through the door, and Bella is not jumping because our leash is doing the work for us, the handler yourself will then affirm and reward, "Good sit, Bella." She gets a cookie. "Good look, Bella." She gets an apple slice, whatever her favorite doggy treat is. She gets that. So then she can see, oh, when people come over, my job is to sit and look to my parents, and then my life gets better tenfold.
that's really cool.
Mhm.
So make sure you have a lot of treats handy, basically. Okay.
Yes,
She'll love
100%.
that. She'll love that. Why is that behavior happening in the first place? Can you kind of describe what's actually happening in that little doggy brain?
Yeah. So there's two main items, but one is significantly more prevalent than the latter. So the usual reason why dogs jump on us is out of excitement, and they want to get to our face. They want to give us a big old smooch, and they compensate that
Oh, and she's a
distance.
big licker too.
Very on brand. So to compensate that distance, they leap through the air to give us a big old smooch. So in the dog world, sniffing booties, sniffing faces is customary for doggy introductions. People, guests, family members, kids, elderly are not the biggest fan of getting tongued by dogs. So that's why we're
That
not a huge
that's
fan.
very true. I don't like it either. I've
Hmm.
been a pet parent for a very long time.
Hmm. Uh, so usually it's just out of excitement. But there are times when dogs almost manically jump on their pet parents out of fear or stress. Maybe a tire just popped on the nearby street. Maybe there's a thunderbolt. Uh, any number of distractions that can occur that can be very scary and jarring for dogs to where they're actively seeking comfort from their pet parents or their handler. And they usually in small dogs like Chihuahuas, Frenchie will be pretty timid when these things happen and start doing a lot of jumping stuff.
Okay.
For this situation, The context is a little bit different, but the practice is fairly similar. We don't want to immediately reward and say, oh, it's okay, and start lifting up our chihuahua and start coddling them the very second they start jumping on us because then they realize if I'm afraid, I can jump on my parents and then be removed from the situation. To be clear, when our dogs are afraid, it is 100% okay to calm them, to embrace them, to help them feel better about things that are outside of both of our realms of control, such as a thunderstorm. A lot of
Hmm.
dogs have thunderstorm anxiety, and there's no getting away from it. That storm's not is only going to pass when it passes. So in situations like that, uh, it's 100% okay to physically be with your dog, to hug them, to embrace them, to give them a T touch, a circular rotation chest rub. It's very common for dogs. But when you're out in the wild, and again, that random situation happens, the fire pops, or there's distant rumbling off in the distance, your dog tries to jump towards you out of fear or concern, ask for a quick sit, a look, some simple basic or non-basic obedience command. Just look for some activity, some job from them. Affirm and reward, good sit, good look, whatever the item may be. Give affection for that. That way, the dog gets what they want. They are receiving affection from you, which is what they're actively seeking due to their distress, but they're not going to get it by placing their paws on you or manically doing a boundary violating behavior, such as jumping, pawing, leaning against you. So that's a very easy fix. All we have to do again is ask for a quick sit, look, and then we can start calling and, comfort them.
Sounds like they're doing it because they're treating you like a dog, so they're greeting you like their normal way that they greet a dog, and the other one
Mhm,
is it could be driven by some sort of fear that they're feeling, not unlike a person, right? So their
mhm,
emotions are being affected by the environment.
right.
Okay. If I'm having trouble getting Bella, because I also have a corgi, Winston, but he has a different personality. She's the one that I have a hard time. Once she gets excited about something, it's hard to redirect her because she's just like in her doggy brain. Oh my God,
Mhm.
it's so amazing. Rasha's here. I need to jump on Rasha because I love Rasha. What's the first thing that I can do to get my dog to start paying attention to me?
Yeah, even before Rasha shows up or any other family, friends, and guests, there's a practice in dog training called capturing. What you'll need is a dog training clicker, a handful of treats, and then the practice is simply this. Every time Bella or Winston does a desirable behavior, click, affirm specifically what the behavior is. Winston is looking to you, click, good look, one treat. Bella realizes, oh, Winston's getting cookies. What do I gotta do for that? Bella comes up to you and then sits for you to see, is this part of the game? As she does so, let her know, yes, this is part of the game. Click, sit Bella, one treat. This practice of capturing is a near passive way of teaching our dogs what we want them to do without any formal instruction. They are finding out what can I, as Bella or Winston, do get these rewards too. So before uh, family, friends, and neighbors show up, if you spend 5 to 10 minutes working on capturing desirable behaviors before the arrival of guests, then both Bella and Winston will be prepped in working with you. They'll be in an operant mindset. They'll be wanting to pay attention to before any distractions show up, so that when our distractions and our guests do finally show up, they see it's Rasha. And then also, hold on, Rasha, I think mom has more cheese or more pieces of bacon. And they will quickly want to come back to you to find out what can I do next as Bella or Winston to get more cookies.
Could you just maybe slow that down just a bit and give us a step by step? Start from step 1. Tell us what would you do first and then second? Kind of break that down a little bit more.
Yeah. So to begin with, let's be prepared. Meaning, let's have 2 to 3 options of treats. Low, medium, and high value, or at least low and high value. Low value treats can be your dog's cereal. Medium value can be sliced apple. It can be dehydrated beef liver, or that might also be a high value for the dog, depending on their own taste. And then items such as dehydrated salmon, boiled chicken, ground beef, ground turkey, these are all very high value treats for dogs. So we want to have our treats ready to go. And as I mentioned earlier, a dog training equipment. These can be purchased from any pet retailer, Amazon, Chewy, they've all got very inexpensive. And all you do is have quicker in your non-dominant, small handful of treats in your dominant ready to go. And every single time your dog does something that you like, they look to you, they sit for you, they lay down in front of you, affirm these behaviors specifically. Click, good sit with them, reward. Click, good down Bella, reward. The clearer you can be with who is being rewarded and for what reason are they being rewarded, the better they can understand, oh, this is the game. I do things with my parents, my life gets better.
Got it. Click, tell them what they did, give them the reward. That's what it
Exactly.
sounded like. What is the biggest mistake that people make right here?
Being too slow with dispensing the treat, too slow with cooking, and too slow with affirming.
Okay. So you got to do it rapidly, like one right after the other while they still remember why are they getting a treat?
Yes. And also while they're maintaining the position. So one of the things that often happens is the dog will sit down and the parents will click and say good sit and begin to dispense the treat, but do so at such a speed where the dog starts standing up again. That's
Oh,
too
okay.
slow. That's not the correct time. We want the dog to maintain that sit or to maintain that down or maintain that eye contact throughout the duration of click, affirm, and reward.
Let's go back to Bella jumping when Rasha comes in because Bella loves Rasha and she's so excited. So Rasha walks in and Bella jumps on her. So what do I do in real time?
First of all, go ahead and have Bella prep with her harness and leash, since we know
Okay.
Bella sees Rasha as very, very excited. In this case, we would say Rasha is college level difficulty for Miss Bella. Not elementary school, not middle school, but college level difficulty. If so, let's thoroughly set Bella up for success. Having Bella wearing her leash and harness so that when Rasha walks through the door, you already have tools to manage Bella. You've got your treats, you've got your clicker. Rasha walks through your door. Bella has the inclination to start pulling and do a little jump, but your leash is doing the work for you. As Bella attempts to leave the earth and jump up towards Rasha, the leash does the work for you. She comes back to earth within a half second. As she does so, she realizes, oh, well, I guess I can't jump on Rasha. Let me see if I can sit and look at my mom or my dad. So, but good look. Good sit, get down, whatever you see. Looks like Bella begins to see when I, as Bella, see Rasha. My job is to sit with the parents, and then I get some super tasty treats for it.
It sounds so simple, but I know
It
I get
is.
really flustered. I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't want Russia to get, bowled over by her."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like the sequence is you're going to interrupt the behavior, so you're going to immediately try to get Bella to redirect to me, not pay attention to what Rasha is doing, and
Hmm.
then I'm reinforcing with what I do want her to do, so if she sits, then I'm telling her, "Good sit, Bella," and then I give her a treat immediately, so she remembers
Exactly.
that it's attached to the sit, the good behavior, and she's getting a treat for that.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Not the, "Don't do that, Bella." That's what you're saying.
Hmm. You
That's
can
not
definitely,
she's gonna be
yeah,
confused, right? That's what
yeah,
you're telling me.
you can definitely get that verbal cue, when she gives that attempted jump. But then once she realizes, oh, not that, then what? Then sit, good sit.
I know I start to get stressed and anxious, especially when it's somebody that's smaller, where I'm concerned about that person either getting bowled over, maybe hurting themselves, like my 2 year
Hmm.
old
Hmm.
grandson when he comes over. I'm usually putting the dogs away to try to avoid any sort of potential of him getting knocked over.
Hmm.
What do I do when my dog is reacting and I feel myself getting stressed out? What can I do in that situation?
Sure. When you find that your dog is reacting out of fear, out of excitement, whatever the root motivator is, best case scenario is to have your contingency plans in place. You know your dog's best. So if you know that your dog is triggered by other on-leash dogs, especially if they themselves are leash reactive, which is here in Central Texas, most of the dogs are leash reactive. Probably the single most common behavior in adult dogs here in Austin. So if you know your dog has leash reactivity to certain types of dogs, especially those who are leash reactive, some very helpful contingencies to work on when you know that your dog can't pay attention to you because they're too reactive, they're too afraid, they're too excited. Some contingencies include the non-basic command, let's go. Let's go as a loosely regimented heel to quickly jog in a certain direction, oftentimes away from this not distraction, but trigger. When
Mm.
dogs are distracted, they can work with you if we find that right threshold distance, when we use the right motivator. If they are triggered, that goes out the window. We need to reset. We need to get away, do whatever we can to do so that they are no longer practicing reacting to these triggers. I myself have a fear of heights. I don't go around consciously thinking, "Oh, I'm so afraid of being on top of a ladder." But once I get up that ladder, my feet or my legs turn into jelly. Again,
Mhm.
it's not a conscious knowing. Uh, it's not something I go out of my way to reinforce, but my body has a physiological triggering reaction once I get in a high place, whether it be an airplane or tall building, etc. So similarly, when I know this about myself, that this is not a distraction, this is a trigger, I have tools to manage myself in these times, just as you know what triggers your dog. So again, if it's a reactive dog, let's go can be one contingency to quickly jog away, to increase that distance so your dog is no longer in
Mhm.
that triggering state, but now is just distracted. We can work with distractions, but triggers, that's when our dog is beyond themselves. We can't do anything to support them.
Is it almost like in a person when you have that flight fright
Yeah.
mode where your brain goes
Yeah, once
offline?
you triggered. Yeah,
Yep.
once you
Exactly.
triggered, I mean, it's same thing. Pet parents, my dogs are rescue dogs, so they always need a lot of work and they pick up whatever the person close to them feel. That's one of things Joshua always taught me. I have to relax myself to watch how my dog is going to react. If I'm tense, they're going to be tense.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes,
so yeah, the
So
pause
it
is
sounds like too, Joshua, is like what Rasha is saying is how we're perceiving the situation is also feeding into the triggers of our dog.
for sure. Uh,
yeah.
and one of the best ways that we can uh, mitigate our own triggering response to our dogs being triggered is to just go into every outing with our dogs with the full acceptance. Here's my checklist of things that I need to be on the lookout for. Uh, barking dogs, neighborhood cats, squirrels,
Oh, squirrels, yes, for
mhm,
sure.
whatever the critters may be in the neighborhood. And you always, always have your necessary treats, toys, and motivators to win your dog's attention. If our dogs are reacting out of excitement, then the root cause is you're not interesting enough. So the name of the game is to be more interesting than everything else outside in the world. So yes, bring
Very Bacon. That's your
yes,
interest. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bacon, and then that becomes thing instead of focusing on the swirl, it's the piece of bacon. I'm gonna ask you this question is um how do you have compassion for your dog without letting their behavior slide? So dogs and people are different, but it sounds like just from this session is maybe they're a little bit more similar than we think. How do we have that compassion for them?
Yeah, by placing yourself in your dog's shoes is an easy way to start fostering compassion for them when they are afraid, when they're frustrated. We can easily relate to these emotions. We have our own fears. We have our own frustrations with personal life, work life, or even within our own physiology. If we're recovering from surgery, if we are having seasonal allergies and we can't breathe and we're just frustrated that we can't even breathe out of our left nostril, how annoying. So we can all relate to things that upset us, that frustrate us, or things that cause us fear, anxiety. But as far as which behaviors to dismiss, as trainers, we don't want to dismiss any behavior. We always want to keep our dogs accountable. And by saying that, we are keeping ourselves accountable, keep our dogs accountable. So
Mm.
you can always exercise compassion 100% of the time and never dismiss any behavior. If you know for sure uh, your dog is going to react to that other dog, we don't want to ignore this fact and force a pass off because we know our dog is going to fail. They're going to react. They're going to do things that we don't want them to do. They don't even want to do it themselves, but they feel the need to because they're triggered. So we can have compassion, that understanding for them. Having that compassion, having that understanding is just the first step to really support our dogs. We need to also uh, take action. So the compassion, the understanding is just the first 50% of the scenario. The second half is what are you going to do to support your dog at that time? You can't have just the action or just the compassion. You need both all the time.
Okay. Well, I think that is a great way to segue into Rasha doing a reset. So, sounds like your compassion for your dog is not passive. So, it is also being aware of your own reactions to what's happening in the moment. So, Rasha, could you do a guided reset that you could use when I'm reacting? I'm embarrassed because my dog is acting up, jumping, doing all those things. And I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I'm a terrible parent. So now I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. Rasha, what can we do in the moment?
Yeah, we will do a little bit of a combo. We will do a little bit of compassion, but we have to start with ourselves always. When it comes to compassion, you have to create it for yourself and then you have to relax yourself. Then from there, you extend it to others. Because if you extend it to others, it's not there. It's not really real. You haven't really felt it deeply first. Okay, let's go ahead, everybody seated here, just comfortable, planting your feet on the ground, shoulders relaxed. It's going to be just 5 minutes. Feel free to close your eyes. And here we go. Take a deep breath and let it all out. Place one hand on the chest and the other on the belly. Just feel the warmth and the weight of your palms. Feel as you inhale how your chest, maybe belly, expand. And as you exhale, how they move back towards your spine. Inhale, focus on the sensations of the palms. And as you exhale, just letting go of any tension you may be carrying in the body. Keeping your palms where they are. Now see yourself as a 3-year-old, because that's basically what your dog is, or your cat, or your pet. They're just a little fur baby. But we'll start with ourselves. Let the warmth of your palms be that kindness and compassion. First towards yourself. Here you are, 3-year-old. Couple of breaths here. Holding yourself with loving kindness, compassion. That baby just wants to play. Excited by the little things, the simplicity of life. Let the warmth of your palms transfer that compassion and loving kindness. Now see your pet and move the hand, keep them where they are. Now visualize, instead of you as a 3-year-old, now it's your fur baby. And your palms We're just transferring that compassion and kindness to them in their excitement, in their joy. If your mind wander, just come back to the weight of your hands. One more breath here. Now go ahead, relax the hands. And if you feel triggered, what you're going to do is you're going to inhale to the count of 4. So through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Now exhale through the nose or pursed lips to the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do 2 more rounds at your own pace. So you're going to in for 4. Pause at the top. Exhale for 6. One more round. Inhale to 4. Pause at the top. Exhale for 6. So these practices, we have them on our podcast. Feel free to check them out. We have everything from a reset when you trigger to gratitude, compassion toward yourself. Even if you can't sleep at night, just go check it out.
Yeah, thank you, Rasha. Yes, you can find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and we'll post those links as part of the show notes in the description. So I'm going to close. We are here for a short time, and as pet parents, we know that our dogs are here for even a shorter period of time. And what I would say is don't spend that time together with your pet frustrated. Spend it aware of your reactivity and how that is affecting the clarity of those around you, including your fur babies. So, Joshua, if someone only remembers one thing from today, what should that be?
Anytime you want to work on building your dog's behavior, the first thing to recognize what is it that motivates them, breeds, forms, find out, sync the most prominent motivator in them. And every time you go out on a walk with your dog, or every time you guys go out and outing, always be tool prepared. Have those motivators on hand so that you can incrementally, throughout all of your outings, start building your dog to be more and more responsive to you with distraction and help build them to where their triggers are no longer triggers, but they just become high level distractions. High level distractions become mild distractions to where eventually they become desensitized to the thing. So always come to school with everything you need.
Sounds like a good motto. Be prepared. Can you tell us where people can find you?
Absolutely. Y'all can find us at mindfultrainingatx.com. Please fill out our contact us page with your contact information, your dog's name, breed, your training goals, and we'd be happy to work with y'all.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Rasha, for that reset as well. What we learned
Thank you.
today is it's not just about your dog, it's about how you personally show up under pressure. Follow us for more. So thanks for joining.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Fitness Friday, where how you live shapes how you perform. If something outside of work is impacting your focus, your energy, or your decisions, that's the work. Follow the Clarity series for more real world resets and practical ways to stay clear, steady, and in control when it matters most.